Hallo, willkommen zurück
Hallo.
zu Super Sehr Buchclub. Wir lesen Infinity Sun von Adam Silvera. Mal wieder,
Den Boy.
dem Boy. Ist jetzt schon eine Weile her, würde ich sagen, seit dem letzten Mal. So einen Monat vielleicht? Keine Ahnung. Also
Ja,
mindestens
so ungefähr.
3 Wochen.
Yes.
Okay. Äh, Manchmal denke ich mir, ich sollte so ein ganz kleines Video hochladen oder so. Ist okay, ein paar Wochen nicht da, keine Streams. Aber dann denke ich mir auch, ich weiß nicht, wie viele das interessiert tatsächlich.
Yuki, ne?
Weil Yukina noch nie davon weiß,
Ja.
natürlich. Ähm, ja, die andere Person, die dich mal angeschrieben hat. Äh, okay. Ähm, Wir sind in unserer Geschichte mit Emil,
Zeug in
Brighton.
dem Buch hier stecken.
Was?
Ich habe voll viel Zeug in dem Buch stecken.
Okay. Poco ist sehr leise. Sag mal was.
Hallo.
Okay. Das. I guess, ich kann es leider drehen. Sag mal nochmal was, bitte.
Hallo.
Okay. Ich drehe einfach voll auf. So, okay. Ähm,
Okay.
ja, ich hab. Okay. Naja. Ähm, ja, ich lese den Chat. Yukina. Na gut. Ähm, Wo waren wir? Wo war ich? Wir waren bei, dass wir die Geschichte
Oh.
lesen. Oh.
Wait.
Oh. Jetzt
Ich
bist
weiß nicht warum,
Ah,
aber mein Pegel war voll runter.
okay, jetzt bist du sehr laut und rauschig.
Ja, das dachte ich mir. Oh, dann mache ich es wieder ein bisschen runter.
Ja, ich glaube, wie vorher war es, glaube ich, in Ordnung.
Uff.
Mhm. Also wir haben keine technischen Schwierigkeiten hier.
Warte.
Wir wollen nur so schnell wie möglich
Absolut nicht.
die Stream-Anschauerfahrung erhöhen für alle. Und ist natürlich kein Problem, wenn wir kurz hier ein bisschen
So wie es
rumstehen.
jetzt.
Jetzt ist wieder smooth und ich drehe dich einfach laut und dann wird das
Okay, es
schon.
ist aber immer noch in Höhe.
Was? Was?
Also ist jetzt auf 80.
Okay. Ja, wird schon okay sein. Vielleicht ein bisschen leiser drehen. Und dann wird sich Yukina bestimmt nochmal melden, wenn es irgendwie grausam ist. Ähm, und schon wieder hab ich den Faden verloren. Genau, wir sind ja hier in unserer Geschichte mit unseren Superhelden und nicht so superheldigen Helden. Ähm, wo waren wir letztens? Waren wir schon bei diesem. Wir waren ja bei dem Phönix in dem Museum, ne? Oder war das schon später, wo wir waren? Oder war das. Wo haben wir aufgehört?
Maribel hat, glaube ich, gerade Atlas getötet.
Achso,
Sie possessed hat.
ja, genau. Du bist ein bisschen abgehackt, glaube ich.
Ja, ist in der.
Okay. Das könnte doof werden, aber mal
Halt
sehen.
wack.
Ja.
Ich
Äh,
weiß.
June war das, ne? June konnte das machen.
Ja.
Okay. Ja, das ist jetzt doof.
Warte.
Die Sache ist halt,
Opathie.
ich habe ein Buch gelesen, wie du weißt. Und da gab es auch so Leute, die Atlas und so. Also, nee, da hieß ein Hund Atlas. Und ich war gerade so, wie, wer hat den Hund umgebracht? Aber nee, das ist hier nicht so. Ja, ich meine, die den
Okay,
letzten Stream gerade erst geschaut haben, wissen ja, worum es geht. Und
das war.
wir kriegen das ja bestimmt auch mit. Ähm, Worum es ging, zumindest ungefähr.
So. Vielleicht ist jetzt besser.
Bisschen hallig, aber
Ja,
naja.
aber ich bin direkt am Router.
Ah, du bist direkt umgezogen, ich sehe. Na, dann
Ja,
wird
hallo.
gut, dann wird gut sein.
Ist ja
Oh,
arschkalt hier drin. Kalt hier drin.
Hintern kalt hier drin, ja. Kann ich mir vorstellen. Bei einer Zimmergenossin, die das nicht interessiert.
So, oh mein Gott, I wish ich hätte so gutes Internet. Okay.
Jetzt hast du es ja.
Ja, ich ziehe einfach um.
Okay. Dann kann es ja langsam losgehen, würde ich sagen.
37. Dark Yellow. Marable.
Wer hat dann Dark Yellow, interessante Farbe. Gold? I don't know.
I guess. Dreck. Atlas crashes through glass right as June falls out of my body. I don't bother with her as I run straight for Atlas. Iris is suddenly beside me, hurling alkalides far across the room. I push past the destroyed relics to reach Atlas. He has never been this still. I scoop up his neck. Atlas, Atlas, no, come on, my love. His eyes are half open and blood is soaking up his shirt. Please see me, please see me. I slip my hand underneath the vest that was too damaged to protect him, and his heart isn't speaking to me. But this doesn't make sense because this is Atlas and he has to be around because I wouldn't be alive without him, and we are supposed to be we're supposed to one day have kids who will fly through the air with us, and we will live until we grow old. I press my forehead against his and beg him to keep his promise. When that doesn't work, I scream in his face, and that doesn't wake him up either. I shot him. June made me. My teeth clench, and I fight back this urge to vomit, and my arms are shaking, and a cold shiver runs down from my head to my heart. Then I'm warm, like when I was sick in bed, always waiting on Mama's tea with honey, lemon, and garlic. Ew. I mean,
May ist. Nach der Kombi muss ich irgendwie an Ingwer denken, aber.
Ja, das klingt so, als würde alles zusammen wie Ingwer schmecken. That's how Ingwer is made, actually.
Ja, das ist einfach nur so eine Paste gepresst.
Ja. Ich glaube, nee, maybe haben wir alles da. I don't know. Taste test, okay.
Ich hab.
The fights around me the fights around me continue, and June staring me down sets me off. I rise and scream, and my body feels so hot I swear I'm inside the sun. There's pressure on my eyes, especially the left, and I hear a roar that comes out of nowhere. A ring of dark yellow fire explodes around me and collides into everyone 20 feet from me. I am the last one standing. Flames run up to my elbows. How? Everyone is looking up at me. Luna is watching me in awe by the exit when an acolyte takes her by surprise and punches her in the face. The acolyte snatches the egg and runs. He glows gray the closer he gets. Ness. I don't care about the phoenix or the elixir. I look back at Atlas, lifeless, and I want to put this fire to use before it goes away. A flow of dark yellow flames blast from my palm, but June sinks through the floor because I can reach her. Because it can reach her. Before it can reach her. Dion has already charged away, and I'm lucky enough to strike Stanton down even briefly before they all reach Luna and flee. The flames vanish, and I feel faint, the emptiest I've ever felt. I stumble back to Atlas and fall on top of him, cuddling against his chest, and even though he doesn't wrap his arms around me, I fall asleep.
Wow.
Ja. Hat sie etwa Phoenix Powers?
Ja, aber kann sie sich nicht entscheiden? Das fühlt sich so an, als könnte sie sich nicht entscheiden. Dass sie vielleicht June erledigen.
Ja, I don't know.
Anscheinend geht das ja nicht.
38. Ashes. Marable. I met Atlas on the Brooklyn Bridge. I was there with Iris to take down a trio of Celestials who were threatening to kill everyone if enforcers didn't release their boss from the bounds. It was a poetic moment for us since our parents were the reason their boss got locked up, but we were ambushed when people we believed to be potential victims in cars stepped out and began attacking us. We considered leaping into the East River, but we had to prove ourselves. One Celestial was telekinetically pinning me to a wall and preparing to launch a dagger into my heart. He would have succeeded if Atlas hadn't dropped from the sky and blasted him off the bridge. I recognized him from his attention-thirsty Instagram account, but in person, Atlas was dedicated to the mission. Same for Wesley, who was carrying people away from the action at an exhausting speed. Then a Celestial was about to strike Atlas out of the air, and I drop-kicked him into a car's windshield. He thanked me for saving his life, and I called it even. Then tonight, when he needed me to back him up, I killed him. I've stayed in our room for an extra hour by myself, punching holes in the wall and screaming and crying into the pillow that smells of him. I want him in bed with me to feel the world roll off my shoulders as he embraces me for the night, like we're the only two people in the world. Mama and Papa were bold with how they wore their hearts on their sleeves when out saving the world that hated them. It inspired me growing up. Even after the blackout, I was still determined to fall in love and fight for it. But I shouldn't have said anything. June could have killed anyone, but she targeted Atlas to destroy me. At least my parents died together. I wander the halls and find everyone in the boardroom. In the bathroom. Wesley is balled up against the wall and sobbing. He even kicks at the floor. Emil, Brighton, and Prudencia are sitting around the egg, and they freeze when they see me. Eva is massaging circles into Iris's back. Iris is in her own daze. Where's Atlas? I ask. Marable, I'm so sorry, Eva says. There's nothing I know you can't heal him. Where is he? Downstairs in Wesley's room. I'm running hot again, and if I can't control myself, that mysterious ring of fire might kill everyone in this room. Seems appropriate, since I'm truly a killer now. The boy I love more than anything else is gone because of me. Naja, nicht wirklich, aber okay.
Ja, also, ich meine, ist ja obviously für alle, dass sie das nicht war. Oder nicht, also.
Yeah. What's wrong with me? Atlas isn't here to calm me down. I'm heating up. Power advancement? Eva says. I can levitate. Flying higher and farther would be a development. You sure your parents didn't have fire casting in their bloodlines? Brighton asks. Everyone keeps speculating except Iris. You know something, I say as I approach her. She refuses to make eye contact. No one knew. No one thought this would happen. My parents believed your power had advanced as far as it could. It just came so late, and your blood glistens, and you've shown no other signs of being what? A spectre, Iris says. This is Phoenix fire, Marable. It just surfaced differently than Emil's. Fight before fire. Was? Okay. Flight before fire. I see. I'm going to blow this building to the ground. How do you know all of this? I was told everything in confidence. The fact that you're experiencing both sets of powers is exceptional, especially since Bautista didn't. He only possessed Phoenix fire. What the hell does Bautista have to do with me? No way! Brighton's hands fly to his mouth. Lester and Aurora raised you, Iris says. Your parents, but... Save it, Iris. I don't care about your secret intel. I'm a Lucero. End of story. You're Bautista and Sarah's daughter, Marable. To our knowledge, you're the first child born from a Spectre and Celestial. No one says anything. Even Wesley stops sobbing and stares in confusion. Emil is the only other person in the room who has a sense of what I'm going through, and even then, our experiences are different. His past life is my biological father. I have no idea when Mama and Papa decided to raise me as their own, or how that even unfolded. Was that Bautista and Sarah's idea? Finola and Conrad's? Why didn't anyone tell me? Why was this a secret? The question.
Imagine Emil geht so, hey Kiddo.
Ja.
Ich glaube, der lebt da nicht mehr.
Ich glaube, das ist auch später irgendwann, wenn die das irgendwem erklären oder so, dann ist es so, wait, du bist also basically ihr Vater? Und dann so, naja, nein.
Okay.
The question that...
Storyline.
Ja. Aber es ist ja nur Reborn. Also es ist ja eher wie der Sohn.
Er ist ja jemand neu.
Eigentlich sind sie Geschwister.
Ja, sind die Schwester. Also
Halbgeschwister.
Kind of, ja.
Mehr als Brighton und Emil sind. Oh! Okay. The question that pains me, who else knows? No one, Iris says. Even Eva is shaking her head. Iris, how could you not tell her? This wasn't some intel like before. This is her family. I was sworn to secrecy. Maribel, I didn't want to disturb your history. That wasn't my place. The hell it wasn't. You were the only person who knew. Atlas died without ever knowing the real me. I could have died never knowing the real me. My job was to protect you. It's what Lester and Aurora wanted. Don't you dare use their memory against me. Everything suddenly makes sense about why Iris would keep up this lie. Oh, my stars. No wonder you kept it all a secret. You thought that if I knew that I came from Bautista and Sarah, then I would take over as leader of the group. Iris pops up from her seat and stamps her fist on the table so hard that it caves in. Oh, this is hard. You have never once tried to make this impossible job any easier. You were my best friend. You were like a sister to me. Yet all you do is come down on me when something goes wrong, and you never credit me when I get us a win. I have sacrificed my life to lead this group. I can't remember the last time I saw Iris crying. You don't care about my pain because you think I'm unbreakable, that I'm strong enough to carry everyone on my shoulders. Newsflash, Maribel. I've been heartbroken since the blackout too. Thanks for asking. I turn my back on her. I'll never forgive her. I sit beside Wesley and try to understand my life. I'm a Celestial and a Spectre. It's possible after all. The levitation isn't an extension of Mama and Papa's flight. Are their powers the reason they were chosen to raise me, to trick me? If my powers are coming from Bautista, then what do I get from Sarah? She had powerful visions, and I have good instincts. Intuition when the going gets tough in battle. The dream and sickening gut feeling I had before Mama and Papa left me for the last time. I knew they weren't going to come back. It wasn't paranoia, it was a warning. I could have prevented the blackout if I'd understood and nurtured my power. What do we do now? Brighton asks with some take charge spirit. We have a building full of Celestials who need to be more involved. You're not doing anything, Bright, Emil says. You don't speak for me, Brighton says with a fire that's missing around here. You don't speak for me. Huh. Voll fire. Nee, I don't know.
That's missing around here.
We've got Gravesen's egg. We won. Luna's screwed. This isn't what victory looks like. We have been tortured. We're lucky to be alive. Time to call it quits. Then you can stay out of it. We'll stop Luna without you. You cannot come on any more missions, Iris says. We just lost one of our best Celestials, one of our best friends. Atlas was powerful and good, and now he's dead. If we couldn't bring him home alive, we can't guarantee your protection. It's too big a risk, and if you hop on in one of our cars again, I will throw you out myself. Brighton's face is red. First, I'm not worth a rescue mission. Now I can't enlist in this war because I might die. You're not safe just because spell work can bounce off your skin. Wesley isn't so quick that he hasn't been hit. I've seen more action than Eva. Brighton, enough, Prudencia says. Be with your family. Be with me. No more blood should be lost. I'm not turning my back on everyone, Brighton says. But good on you for being able to do so. He leaves. Iris approaches Wesley. We need to relocate everyone. It's too dangerous. I am energized by Brighton's fire and I stand. Don't worry about the bloodcasters. I'm going to get to them first. Take care of June and the others for good. Take care of June and the others for good. Spell workers don't kill, Iris says. Can we at least see eye to eye on that? You all don't kill, but I will. I get up and head for the door. I quit. Oh.
I quit.
My first thought when I see Atlas underneath the blanket is that he must not be able to breathe. I pull back the blanket and I'm frozen for seconds before the sobs burst out of me. Too many memories rush through me, like the date I planned for him on Nova's rooftop, and whenever we showered together, and when I kissed him for the first time, and whenever he made me laugh so hard that I forgot all my pain. He became my home, and now I don't know where to go. Before I leave Nova, I have to take care of him. I step out to grab rags of water and find Emil sitting in the hallway. I keep walking, but he follows me. I get what you're going through, the family thing. If you want to talk, that has no effect on me, I interrupt. You're not my father. I know I'm not, definitely not trying to pull that card. It's so bizarre, but I know what it's like to go through something life-changing and discover your parents didn't give birth to you. It's not the same thing at all, I know, but it doesn't have to be so lonely. I spin around and get in his face. He backs up with teary eyes. I'm not interested in some support group, especially not with you. If you had held on to June like I asked you to, she would be dead instead of Atlas. I'm sorry. Will Ness know where June is? He said the gang routinely moves around. They won't be in any of their usual spots now that he's betrayed them. Just my luck. Maribel, I'm seriously sorry, and it's great that you're done with this fight. You don't belong here, but before I go, tell Wesley to come see me. No one else. The Spellwalkers have fallen apart and I don't care. I'm a One-Woman Army. Aha. Klassiker. Oder so.
Ich meine, sie können sich vielleicht actually Waffen holen. Like, muss ja keine Magie immer sein. Eine Kugel tut's auch.
Ja, ne? Sie ist jetzt eine Army. Vielleicht legt sie sich ein paar Sachen zu. I go to the bathroom and return to Atlas with a bucket, water, and rags. I wash the blood and debris from his face, apologizing over and over. Wesley arrives and offers to help, and I don't fight him. He wanted to be cremated, I say. Say your goodbyes while I pack my bag. Mary, don't. He's the only one who could call me that. Ich bin schnippisch. Okay. I don't take my time in our room. Atlas was my home. Wherever he was, that's where I felt happiest and safest. I throw everything that matters into the duffel bag. The star-touched wine Atlas gifted me, Papa's binoculars, Mama's reading glasses, and the daggers I will drive into June. Alter, multiple. Epic. When I return downstairs, Wesley and I carry Atlas out to the playground and lay his body on top of a stretch of grass. What if he didn't see June possess me? This question will haunt me until we're reunited. What if all Atlas saw was me pointing a wand at him and firing a spell? He wouldn't even have had time to think about it. It was all so fast, Wes. I hate that it was so quick that he didn't have time to register that it wasn't me, and I hate that I'm upset that his death was swift. He knew he knew you loved him, Wesley says. He would be alive if I didn't. Wesley stays quiet, it's true. I'm technically the one who killed him, so I should be able to bring back his ghost, but only after I've killed June. Then I can send him to rest in true peace. I want to be there if you will let me. I nod. I'll see you soon, Atlas. I call for my power, focusing on getting vengeance on June, and I close my eyes once the dark yellow flames enshroud Atlas's body. I won't leave him, but I can't watch. For an hour, I sit with my back to Atlas' body, crying against Wesley as we breathe in charcoal and other odors. Then, when Atlas's body is gone, I empty the bottle of star-touched wine in a dying plant. I scoop up Atlas's ashes with a gardening shovel and pour as much as can fit of him into the bottle, and I pray to the mightiest of constellations it will be enough to summon him back for a proper goodbye. When will I see you again? I'm sure our paths will cross. Take care of your family, Wes. Be safe, Maribel. I head for the parking lot with the bottle of ashes close to my chest. Being a spellwalker, I didn't always want to save everyone. Too many people hated me so fiercely, but now I'm sure of my calling. Pure vengeance. Out by Atlas's car, Brighton is waiting by the driver's seat with his laptop under his arm and backpack over his shoulder. Do you need some company? He asks. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm not like Emil. I won't hold you back. I nod. Let's go. We have a ghost to kill.
Sie nimmt jetzt einfach Brighton mit.
Ja.
Und er hat einen Laptop.
Aber er hat das Fire, was alle anderen nicht haben in der Gang.
Ja, und das hat sie ja jetzt voll entfacht. Ey, wow, neue Relation da oder so. Oh mein Gott, ich darf auch wieder lesen.
Ja.
Chapter 39. Firefly.
Alter, kind of a thing.
Was?
He said a thing.
Okay. Sure. Tonight has been beyond miserable. I'm carrying Grayson's egg, feeling torn between who needs me the most. Do I sit with the group, make things right with Brighton, help Ma and Prudencia pack? I need a break from it all, so I go to the person who isn't expecting anything from me. Ness didn't think it was appropriate to be with everyone in the boardroom while we were grieving and strategizing. Oh, das war merkwürdig geschnitten bei mir. Das war so straight guysing.
Straight guysing. Straight guys, never heard of him. Don't know him.
So I set him up in an old art supplies room. Alter. Not a huge upgrade from the closet he was camping out in before, but at least this one has better lighting and smells of paints and paper. He's staring out the open window, breathing in that fresh air. I'm still not sure what's what between us, but for now he saved me and got the egg from Luna. That's enough of a spark for trust. Everything okay? Ness asks. That's a stupid question, isn't it? I sit in the center of the room, admiring Grayson's feathered blue egg as I catch up Ness on everything that's gone down since we split 2 hours ago. Eva failed to heal the wounds inflicted by the Infinity Ender Blade inflicted by him. Von wem? Wer wurde angegriffen?
Ness. Ness musste, um Luna zu zeigen, dass er auf ihrer Seite ist, doch Emil aufschlitzen mit dem Ding.
Ah, okay. I tensely sat between Brighton and Prudencia as Maribel discovered the true source of her power. Brighton flipped on all of us, and I haven't seen him around since. Then Maribel rightfully blamed me for Atlas's death. I don't know how I would live with myself if I helped her murder someone, but it would feel a lot easier knowing an assassin was dead instead of a hero. Will painting you a picture help? Ness asks. Can you paint? technically, yeah. It won't be good though. Jeder kann
Klassiker.
malen.
Ja, meine Aussage. Ach ja,
Ja.
Ness ist einmal der Schlauste.
Ja.
Fast.
Ja, und ein Artist, also, wie jeder.
Mhm.
It's a lovely gesture, something I would treasure no matter the quality. But it doesn't feel right to have a painting party when people are panicking as they wrap up their lives, so we can evacuate as soon as possible. Maybe another time, I say. Gott, kriege ich jetzt auch noch hin, ordentlich zu reden oder nicht? Can I explain myself instead? He keeps his distance, which should make me feel safer, but I'm thrown over how lonely I feel, like we are both stars in the sky that aren't close enough to shine brightly together. Oh. I didn't want to...
I don't know.
High?
High in the sky.
High in this... Was?
Ich habe gesagt deep. Oder eher high in the sky, Alter.
Ach so, high in the sky, okay. I didn't want to leave Nova, but you were so ready to risk everything for Brighton. You were ridiculously kind to me, and I had to repay that. But when we were on that roof and Stanton had us cornered, I had to grab the reins. So you laid me out with the urn, I say. Then Luna made you cut into me. No, she didn't make me, Ness says. She was furious because I exposed her cemetery plans. I had to convince her I was double-crossing you, and since she wanted to punish you, I volunteered to prove my loyalty to her. It pained me, nicht painted, lol. It pained me, but it was the only way I could make the best of a horrific situation. Dion wouldn't have been careful. June would have shown no mercy. Stanton would have gone too far and possibly killed you. He can't look me in the eye. She believed me. I believed you too, I say. You would have made a great actor in another life. Irgendwie fühle ich mich nicht so, als wenn ich ordentlich reden kann. Davor ging es noch, ne? Aber jetzt, ne, jetzt ist einfach nur traurig.
Ja, gut.
Did Eva clean your wounds? No. Between Atlas and how worn out she was from trying to heal me, I didn't ask for more help. I should be good. Ness opens a drawer and pulls out an apron, cutting it up and running the sink. Take off your shirt. I help you. Ooh.
Ooh.
It's okay. You have to wash it. Come on. He squints. What's the problem? I fidget with the sleeve of my baggy shirt. I'm not used to someone who looks like you asking me to remove my shirt. Someone who looks like me? Your face is solid and you're no doubt on top of the rest of your body too. You're trying to call me cute and fit? Ness asked with the hint of a smile. In my own words. Look, you are sweet, but I don't live in the gym. Before I can stop him, he removes his shirt and presents himself like I shouldn't be impressed with his toned chest and build. It's not that serious. Believe me, when I first got my powers, I saw dozens of different versions of myself, but I like who I am. Of course you do. I would morph into you if I could. That's sweeter. Ness pulls his shirt back on. Your face is solid too, Firefly. I'm sure the same goes for the rest of your body. I'm running hot. I know he's not into me. No one has time for that
Phoenix
anyway.
Flames.
But it's hard to believe him when no one else has ever been able to convince me of this. Smart money is on Ness lying so he can help me and ease his guilt over the scars that I have for the rest of my life. I tell him why I always wear baggy shirts. My body is either too skinny or not skinny enough. Never enough muscle, but it's always easier to hide inside shirts where no one can figure out what my body looks like. I used to wear tank tops at the beach, even to go in the water, which always led to chafing? What?
Oh.
Chafing. But
Chafing.
But seeing everyone with their six-pack stopped me from going altogether. I was always promising myself that every summer was going to be the summer I could finally walk shirtless and feel desired and accepted. Then They are all the guys on Instagram whose bodies I zoom in on, and when they post their exercise routines, I try them out and deprive myself of any sweets because my joy isn't worth being ignored. Even the Spellwalker gig makes this impossible, I add with tears in my eyes as Ness sits across from me on the floor. Everyone has their idea of what heroes should look like, and that's not me. You're really not kidding, are you? Ness asks. I don't need you to tell me how skinny or strong I am. I get it, but it's this voice in my head that needs to shut up, Ness interrupts. I don't think I ever feel good about myself. I could have the six-pack and the V-card and people saying they want me, but I will never feel beautiful enough for everyone in the world. You should only feel beautiful to yourself, Ness says. And only... God. And only be with someone who gets that you're beautiful because of who you are. Look, Firefly, the first night I saw you, I almost broke concentration and morphed back into myself. Make of that what you will. He blushed, which is wild, but if anyone can fake that, it's a shapeshifter.
Shifts into himself, but blushing.
Oh, man. I shouldn't have.
Ich bin Shapeshifter.
Yeah, imagine. Well, I shouldn't have pushed, but you really should clean your wounds. Get your brother or mother to help you. It doesn't have to be me. I stand. Do you promise not to comment on my body? Of course. If it makes you feel more comfortable, I can close my eyes. Let's try that. We go by the thing where he wets the rag and closes his eyes. I lift my shirt, immediately puffing out my chest, an instinct that's been burned into me from locker rooms and the rare instances when I changed in front of friends. I guide Ness's finger to the cut on my forearm, and he's gentle, but press down more when he is worried it's not properly cleaning the area. Fängt richtig an zu schrubben.
Ja. Holt so Stahlwolle raus.
Then I watch his face when I direct him to my ribs, wondering if he is going to cringe in any way over how bony I feel, but he remains as focused as anyone can be with their eyes closed. He asks if he can put his hands on my lower back to better anchor himself, and I say yes. The sensations burning through me still takes me by surprise. I bite down on my lip when he applies too much pressure on my rib cage, and he apologizes. The tip of my hair rests on his curls as he washes the last cut on my left arm. Should I keep going? Ness asks. All good, I say, even though I'm not ready for him to back up. Let me know when I can open my eyes. I'm tempted to tell him now, but if his face betrays his words, this memory will be stained, and I never believe anyone again when they call me beautiful. I put my shirt back on. Thanks, Ness. He still doesn't look at me. I never forgive myself for putting you through that. I'm sorry. You got me out of here and got us Gravesend. We're good. Speaking of, he says, finally opening his eyes and pointing at Gravesend's egg. You got to handle that. Don't tell me to kill her. We just have to wait out this constellation. Your best bet right now is that the casters won't feel good about storming into a place where you have home field advantage. But one mistake costs us everything, so you have to get that egg far away from here. We're working on it. You should come with us, I say. It's going to take Brighton, Prudencia and Ma a minute before they trust Ness, but they have to get over it because we all need fresh starts and second chances. We're going to be hiding too. But everyone is going to be looking for you, Firewing, Ness says. It's another reason to hate how famous I've become. If it wasn't so risky, it would be really hard to turn down that invite, but it's for the best. I should figure out my own path. If there was ever a time to run and start over, it's when Luna is focused on tracking down that egg before the Crown Dreamer goes away. I have to discover who I am outside of the Senator's watch, outside of my debt to the casters. He's never been able to make his own choices. I respect this one especially. You've got to protect yourself. I hope you don't have to hide the rest of your life. Pray to the stars that Luna and the Senator die sooner rather than later. I wonder who has to die before I can come out and live my life in peace. I should get going before it gets too dark, Ness says. I don't know what else to say to him when he closes the space between us. Good nerves explode within me. I almost even get my lips ready, but when he pulls me into a hug, I'm not disappointed. A kiss would have made me feel wanted, but that's not what this is. Right now, I feel comforted for the dark times ahead. Figuring out a new home, making peace with quitting this war, raising Gravesend with no experience. I rest my chin on Ness's shoulder. Our ears brush, and I strangely wish I could somehow listen in on his thoughts to see if I'll be on his mind too when he leaves. When the hug breaks, my gaze doesn't leave the floor. I hope you find yourself, I say. I hope you pop up again, Firefly, Ness says, and the door clicks behind him. Wow. Romantisch.
40.
40.
40. 40.
Fortnite.
Okay. True colors. Ness. Before I leave the illusion's perimeter, I morph into a white man, so no one will bother me. Oh, das ist echt sad, aber true, I guess. Every step away from Nova is terrifying, but I don't let that show. I maintain this guise that I'm someone with a great life who's simply out for a late night stroll. No one will suspect this man is thinking about fleeing to the Dominican Republic, where his mother was born, so he can connect with roots that the senator didn't encourage growing up. To get far away from everyone who ruined his life in the city. Maybe when I'm older and the world has completely forgotten me, I can exist in the world again without a morph. Some people I pass on the street may question why I look so familiar, but no one is going to make the connection that I'm the kid they believe died in the blackout. I'm about to ask someone for directions when sirens approach. Cars clear a path and enforcer tanks speed past me. They park and a young man steps out. He pokes at the air with a glowing hand before yanking his entire arm back, like someone pulling a tablecloth out from underneath a dinner setting. There's a massive flash that funnels away, and I can see everything. The empty gas station and ahead, Nova. The Celestial broke the illusion. The tanks speed towards the school, and I don't understand how Celestials can turn their back on their own kind. But who am I if I turn my back on Emil and the Spellwalkers when they may need me the most?
Wow.
Petit.
Jetzt rennt er zurück und ist so, ich bin ein Enforcer. Ich kann ich mir was vorstellen, so reinschleichen. Okay.
So viele Möglichkeiten.
Yeah, imagine Shapeshifting.
Mhm.
Aber imagine nicht Shapeshift. Wait. Wenn er sich in sich selbst shapeshiftet, aber blush. Hat er dann auch das Gefühl, pissen zu müssen?
Maybe.
Vielleicht nicht ganz so stark, weil er nicht so viel verändert.
Ich meine, Ness ist nicht ganz so krass wie Dara, weil der konnte ja einfach nur. Ich meine, okay, für den war es hart, es zu lernen, aber der konnte ja basically auch Illusion-mäßig shapeshiften.
Ja, genau. Aber es war ja mehr so, er hat außenrum so alles, also er hat ja nicht sich verändert, sondern nur so.
Er hat halt Leute das sehen lassen.
Ja.
Es war halt nur eine Illusion. Oh, baby, this is not an
Aber
illusion.
vielleicht fühlt sich das so an, als würde es irgendwie anstrengend sein, also Energieverbrauchmäßig, genau.
Ja, also ich glaube, für den war das anstrengend.
Ja, aber
für ihn ja auch.
Ja. Aber also für NS scheint das anstrengender zu sein, weil es ja nicht lange halten kann und
Ja, aber dafür musste Dara das lernen.
Das war. Ich meine, okay, NS muss es auch irgendwie lernen, aber es ist eine Fähigkeit, die er bekommen hat.
Eben.
Aber ich meine, aber Dara kann mehr machen.
Ja, eben, der kann auch so Objekte erscheinen lassen. Aber selbst das ist schwierig.
Ich meine, er kann auch andere
wenn die Sachen
Magie,
irgendwie so, wie der Apfel so nach was schmecken sollte oder so, einfach die Illusion davon, like Brudi. Stell ich mir schon schwer vor.
Ja. Okay.
Wie dem auch sei.
Ja, also falls ihr an einem anderen Buch interessiert seid, das heißt
Fever King.
Fever King ist eine Reihe, 2 Bücher oder so.
Elektrik-Herr, der zweite Teil.
Ja, und also
Den zweiten Teil muss man nicht lesen.
ja,
Okay.
es ist ein bisschen unangenehm, sagen wir mal so.
Ja. Ich will da gar nicht dran denken. Aber der erste Teil ist sehr gut.
Es ist cool, man lernt mal so ein bisschen die Welt so, das ist sehr interessant und so.
Im zweiten Teil tut mir alles nur noch leid im Kopf.
Ja, I don't know, ich hab die Hälfte ignoriert. Manche Sachen verstehe ich ja gar nicht. Bin ich ja viel zu jung für.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Chapter 41, Gravesend, Emil. On the way to pack, I wish I had more than scars and memories to remember Ness by. I should have taken him up on that amateur art. Maybe he would have painted two boys sitting closely together on the floor. But after seeing how Atlas was used against Maribel, maybe it's best if we don't let anyone get to know our hearts. I enter the room and almost bump into Prudencia. I was about to come find you, she says. You okay? Yeah, I was seeing Ness out. Ma is on my air mattress beside a stuffed duffel bag, and she stops folding a shirt. He left? I nod. How are you two? How are you two? We're done, Prudencia says. But Brighton's stuff isn't here. No clothes, no bag, no laptop. He's probably camping out in someone else's room. I go find him. I put down the egg and it glows brighter than before and begins hatching. It's happening!
It's happening!
Everyone stay calm! Stay calm! Okay. The room gets warm. I can't believe I'm about to witness the birth of a phoenix, especially a century phoenix. Brighton should be here for this once-in-a-lifetime experience, getting it on camera, like I always wanted for him, but there's no time to find him. The shell cracks on one side, and within seconds a bronze beak is hammering away, yawning a song of chaos. Then Gravesend breaks free from her egg with her crown of midnight blue feathers. Ooh, and eyes as big and shiny as marbles. What a beauty, I say as I scoop her up in one of my shirts. She's as light and soft as a bouquet of flowers. Her way hungry cries louder and louder as she squirms around my arms with one wing shielding her eyes from the light. She needs to be fed, Ma says. Good luck making Gravesend vegan, Prudencia says. Challenge accepted. I joke, even though I know it's not in her breed's nature to eat anything but other animals. I see if there's anything left in the kitchen and Gravesend squirms more viciously and her song shields my bones like when I'm walking through a bad neighborhood and can see shady characters watching me. Then spellwork and screams echo in the hallway. The bloodcasters are here for Gravesend. Turn off the lights and lock the door, Ma says. Was Gravesend warning us? We can't stay here. Gravesend is too loud. Prue, get Ma somewhere safe. You're coming with us, Prudencia says. I have to find Brighton. I can't believe I'm doing this to Ma again. I can feel her heart breaking every time, but I'm not leaving without my brother. I peek out into the hallway, and a familiar blur is moving door to door, banging on each one. Wesley appears before us, sweating and panting. Enforcers! Enforcers are here. Get to the back and go past the fence. Cars will be waiting on the other side. How did they... Wesley dashes off. How they found us doesn't matter right now. I hug Ma and Prudencia and tell them I see them soon. Then I run with Gravesend in my arms before they can stop me. I go for the roof first, shuddering whenever spellwork explodes, shaking the floors. I shout for Brighton, but he's not up here. Over the ledge I see 6 enforcers, tanks, parked by the front entrance. I rest Gravesend in the corner of the roof, praying to the stars this will be the safest spot to leave her while I hunt down Brighton. I kiss her forehead and rush back down. Wow. Voll sein Petgo.
Ja.
Her cries follow me the whole way. The halls are crowded. In the chaos, I see an enforcer kick down one door. Then there's a whistle, and the enforcers fall asleep on the spot, allowing the Celestial Zachary and an elderly woman to escape. I burst into rooms, calling Brighton's name and ushering stragglers out. I round the stairs when an enforcer hurls a citrine gem grenade at me, and I'm quick and precise with a fire dart. The grenade explodes mid-air and the shockwave blasts the enforcers down the stairs. My wounds burn when I use my power, but I have to fight through it. I run to the lower level to find Eva healing that girl Grace. Grace, and the one whose loud voice Maribel hoped to use for security, like tonight. Once the colorful lights close the hole in Grace's stomach, I guide them into an empty classroom. Eva, what's going on? I ask. They broke in. They must have gotten through our defenses, and our evacuation plans have all gone to hell without Atlas and Maribel. I haven't seen Iris. Wesley said there are cars in back. In the back. Beyond the fence. Go there. I send Iris your way if I find her. I can't imagine Brighton would be in the music room right by the entrance, but if enforcers or anyone got their hands on him, maybe there will be some evidence that he was there in the first place, like his laptop or clothes. I cross paths with a duo of enforcers, dodging their spells that explode against the lockers behind me. Fire darts take them out and I make it to the room. Everything is wrecked. Sheets, stands have fallen on their sides, holes have been blown through drums, and the piano has folded in on itself. But no sign of Brighton. Where the hell is he? I move for the back door that leads to the auditorium stage when someone shouts for me to freeze. I don't know if it's one enforcer or half a dozen, but I don't move. This is it for me. I hope Brighton is okay, that Prudencia and Ma escaped, that Ness got far away, then the Spellwalkers win, that I won't be reborn into a world where Luna and the Bloodcasters are living forever. I brace myself when I hear a spell discharge. An enforcer blasts past me and slams into the wall, unconscious. I turn around to see my savior, accepting Iris, but it's another enforcer who's very muscular and taking deep breaths as grey lights transform him. Ness. You're back, I breathe, and I feel so energized and strong, like I could fight every day for the rest of my life. I saw the tanks. I wasn't fast enough to warn you, but I had to help. I crash into him with a hug and squeeze hard because everything is going wrong, and he came back for me. Brighton's missing and Gravesend is alive and crying on the roof. I can't do this alone. I'm here. Let's find your brother, grab Gravesend, and get the hell out of here. We run through the auditorium, where two Celestials are dead on stage. Ness drags me away, reminding me to focus as if I forgetting dead bodies is easy to put out of my mind. The Celestials here are trying to live, even if that means holding themselves up in an abandoned school so they won't be treated as threats to society. At the entrance to the cafeteria, Iris is deflecting spells with her fists as Eva guides a dozen familiar faces out at the back. She's alive and they found each other. Between Ness popping back up like he's a firefly, I have hope for Brighton. Maybe he left already, Ness says. If Brighton and I were living that ultimate rays of light dream, we were unstoppable and had unlimited powers. We could reach out to each other telepathically to let each other know we're good, that we are alive, that we are sorry for letting this war get in the way out of our brotherhood. But since we can't, I have to do this the painfully slow way and search room by room, even as this building is being blown apart by spells and gem grenades. Everything on the first floor is a bust, and we're doing one last sweep through the second when three enforcers pop out of Ness's old supplies closet. There he is! I blast the ceiling lamps to slow them down, and while we're cloaked in darkness, we sneak into a classroom. I have an idea. Ness takes a deep breath and begins morphing. His brown skin goes pale, he inches a little taller, his hair becomes curlier, and his face becomes mine. No, they want you, right? He asks, his voice unchanging. I lead them away from you while you check the last couple of rooms. But if Brighton isn't here, you have to grab Gravesend and leave. Promise me. No, this won't work. Promise me, Firefly. I put my face in my hands as terror squeezes me, and I nod a promise. Doors are being kicked down nearby, and watching Ness boldly run while wearing my face feels a lot like watching myself being so unlike myself in Brighton's videos. Spells light up the hallway as they pursue Ness, and when the coast is clear, I check the remaining classroom and closets. But Brighton isn't here. Gravesend's song has only gotten louder in these emptied halls, and a figure steps out of the darkness. June. Her face is bruised and covered in dried blood. She looks to the roof. No, I run, but she's faster, fading in and out several feet at a time. She's inches from me on the way up the steps, but when I lunge, she's gone, and I fall hard on my chest. I force myself back up, and when I reach the roof, Gravesend is inside June's arms. I run so fast I almost trip over myself. I have to get a hold of her, but June sinks through the floor and Gravesend cries vanish. No! I hold myself up by the ledge, and that's when I see enforcers carrying Ness, unconscious and with no glamour. They load him into the back of an armored truck, and once it takes off, all the enforcers return to their tanks and follow, even though they never got me. Except maybe they were never here for me. Maybe it's Ness they wanted all along. I don't know how they knew he is alive, but between losing him and Gravesend and not knowing where the hell Brighton is, I feel so lost. My fiery grey and gold wings burst into life, painfully, and I leap over the edge, praying to the crowned dreamer above that my brother will be home waiting for me.
Wow, Brighton, wegen dir ist jetzt alles schiefgegangen. Hättest du nicht einfach einen Zettel hinlegen können mit Yo, Bros, bin out?
Ja, wäre echt cool.
Dann wäre Gravesend jetzt nicht weg, Ness wäre nicht entführt. Aber okay.
Mann,
Du bist ja cool, du hast ja das Fire, Brudi.
Ja, du hast das Fire. Okay, ich würde sagen, das reicht für heute.
Yes.
Gute Stunde hingelegt und auch, ja, gut gesehen. Ich mag den Seiten von Ness ziemlich cool, I guess.
Mal sehen, was jetzt mit dem passiert.
Brighton Klassiker.
Ja, mal
Marable Klassiker. Ja, die anderen sind halt auch, I don't know, Atlas gone, sad, I guess. I don't know, I don't care about Atlas to be honest. Like, die sind alle so langweilig.
I mean, where's this cool?
I guess, aber man hat halt nicht so viel über die gelernt, außer dass sie halt Fähigkeiten haben. Wow.
Aber vielleicht kommt das ja noch.
Maybe. Weiß ja Bescheid, vielleicht auch noch. Gut, dann würde ich sagen, wir hören uns wieder beim nächsten Mal, wenn es wieder heißt Super Sego Buchclub. Wir lesen Buchclub. Wir lesen Infinity Sun von Alan Silvera. Nächstes Mal weiter mit Kapitel 42. Quick Math. Englisch zu Deutsch. Und dann hoffe ich, hat es euch gefallen und dann Tüdelü, ne?
Tschüssikowski, meine ich.
Ja, bye bye.